For Kay and Reed Hudson.
Thank you very much. A little bit closer.
You have to remember how it starts.
We're all just seeing some things go.
Someone else there set in.
Okay, here we go.
Mountains and valleys are empty. The last of the old time is gone. Just a ghost that teases the memory, like ripples across a pond. Bellbirds are calling the twilight. It's the end of another day. You can still hear the sound of the miners, like an echo from far away. From China they came, and Australia. From America their fortunes defined. Strong men and women and their thousands, they panned and they dug and they mined. Bellbirds are calling the twilight. It's the end of another day. You still hear the sound of the miners, like an echo from far away. They came over mountains and rivers, ignoring the cold and the rain. They built sprawling towns without number, but the land will always reclaim. Now the mountains and valleys are empty. The gold and the old time is gone. Just a ghost that teases a memory, like ripples across a pond.
Do you want to talk or why? You talk.
When we first went to the coast, I started getting interested in all the people that had been there before, and I read a lot about the towns that were set up on the coast by the miners. And I saw this magnificent photo, the Casino de Venice, and it was a dance hall. And I thought, my God, how could you have something like that and poke a ticket? But there were thousands of miners then. And this is sort of what came to mind when I saw that photo.
Right. I have to say, this is my latest toy. I was in a shop, a music shop in Hobart about 5 weeks ago. I went to buy some strings, and as I walked out the door, this voice said, "Reed,
He lies.
I think John Denver could afford it for the song.
John Denver paid for this thing, John. Thank you, mate. It was a beautiful thing. So this is a bit of an experiment. Here we go. Ready? Ready?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how it starts.
Let's see.
Oh,
That's it.
our mum's gone to dance at Casino de Venice. She's been gone for nearly 2 weeks now. Business must really be slow. There's Annie and Fanny and Roger, Lizzie and Norman and Flo, Bertie and Tessie, Gertie and Jessie, and please don't forget little Joe. We know she'll come home any day now. She couldn't leave us all here, but the man who came round to the door yesterday was an agent from Follies Vizier. There's Annie and Fanny and Roger, Lizzie and Norman and Flo, Bertie and Tessie and Gertie and Jessie, and please don't forget little Joe. Wow.
Yeah, well, that worked all right, didn't it? Nice to be here. Nice to hear 2 auto harps. Now that's something else. A couple of auto harps. Yeah, do that. We make no excuses for the fact we have the words here because we're both gold card holders. And as you're all aware, if you've got a gold card, things like memories, sex, hearing, eyesight, everything just goes out the door and you forget everything, so we have the words here. But you do get free rides on buses.
And this is a song that's twice as old as us. It's really old.
And when I go to the great, wherever it is you go when your old musicians
Are they
die.
ready for you though?
No.
They'll never be ready for me, mate. When we go and we come back as musicians, we are both going to play the penny whistle. So I don't have to spend a fortune on guitar strings, and I can walk into a
And this
shop.
is from a man who says you can never have too many guitars.
But that's in this life. It's a song written by a couple of gentlemen called W.E. Abbey and what was the other guy's name? Tillman. In 1890. But there's some dispute, so we'll go with Abbey and Tillman, and unless we find out something else, we'll go with that. It's an oldie called Life Is Like a Mountain Railroad. About 3,000 different people have recorded this. We might go for the next one. Are you ready?
Life is like a mountain railroad swelling tide, you behold the Union Depot, into which a train will glide. There will be the superintendent, God the Father, God the Son, with the hearty, joyous welcome. Weary pilgrim, welcome home. Blessed Savior, thou wilt guide us till we reach that blissful shore, where the angels wait to guide us in thy praise forevermore. In thy praise forevermore. Talk. This is a song that Reed's been trying to teach me. I used to only sing it because he was the guitarist, but he's telling me I've got to play it as well now.
He's a taskmaster.
Pardon?
He's a taskmaster.
He is. It's hard to get good help. But it's, pardon?
Good to get up
It's that too, especially when you're old.
on a gold card.
But it's a beautiful song, and I reckon it's one of the most beautiful songs that's come out of New Zealand. It's in C.
That's a good key.
It is.
It's a people's key, apparently.
People's key.
And it's called Blue Smoke.
But if you feel inclined to sing along, please do. Are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go.
Blue smoke
as we mentioned, Kay does most of the writing. And she's very good. She writes poems for me. So
I wrote poems about him.
I realised about, let's see, Ash Burton on the way out that my reading glasses were in fact sitting on the kitchen table. So, yes. Anyway, I did a fair spell back in the dark ages driving stock trucks, which was a whole, there's a book in there somewhere. There's so many tales and so many things. And this is a semi-true tale about a truck driver I worked with who came to work one day and had a very nasty surprise. The boss said, get in your truck, go down to Mosgiel and pick up 2 elephants. And so the story goes. I once knew a driver who was known as Thumbs by all. He was sent to Mosgiel when the circus made a call. They said their truck had died and they were in awful plight. 2 elephants to get the gore for the show tomorrow night. Thumbs thought they were kidding until the elephants came along. He tried to get back in the truck, but his legs felt all wrong. They told him it would be okay and put them in the back, and they told him don't forget to tie the trunks onto the rack. Now Thumbs thought that was cruel for appendages, so the appendages he ignored. He reasoned it was really just a nose, and he shut his driver's door. And driving down Waiholaway, his nerves settling down, he thought he'd have a sandwich and turned his thoughts around. Those elephants were hungry too, and trunks are built to smell. They found an open window. Food was in there, they could tell. Thumbs nearly had a heart attack, but he pushed it back outside, and as he wound the window up, teardrops filled his eyes and his trunk. They hadn't tied the jumbos, no shackles on Thumbs's truck, and as they started swaying, Thumbs was terror-struck. He didn't know that elephants do this when they rested. He thought that God was angry and he was being tested. He was lurching down the Milton Strait when a driver cut him off. Thumbs saw road rage looming when this man came to a stop. You kept waving me on, now what have you got to say? And then this truck came out the side of the truck and waved another car. It's mostly true.
Thumbs existed.
Yeah, Thumbs really existed. He was a butcher and he had giant thumbs. And when he went down to pick up these 2 elephants, he didn't want to do it. He thought it was being had on. And he got down to Mosgiel and picked up the radio and said, there's 2 bloody elephants down here. This is a song we found on a, was it Kentucky Colonels?
Yes.
Yeah, Kentucky Colonels album, but it also turns up on Rollin' Bass. It wasn't on the rock and roll album, and we've always loved it. It's called Same Old Blues Again. You ready, dearest? See how nice we are to each other on
They say the sun rose in the east, or not from this bed where I sleep. I never see it shine until it's hanging low. And if the sun comes up at all, it never walks across these walls. I But on my loneliness, I swear, I'm growing weary of the treasures that I own. And though they've never been so few, I don't know what more I can do. Must be those same old blues calling me back home. And it's a strange new town I'm in, with the same old blues again. They seem to haunt me every place I drop my shoes. And like the shadows on the ground, they always follow me around, just like a friend. The same old blues again, just like a friend. The same old blues again.
Lovely.
Right, so this is a song about a West Coast tradition. We do a couple of songs about various West Coast traditions, and this is one of them, which takes place, I think, about the third weekend February. It's up. All right. What we're doing here for a minute. It takes place. Great. Could be nice.
If you haven't been to Wild Foods, I'm sure you've heard about it.
Wild Foods. So, some of you, and I recognise faces out there, so the ones we know, hello, you've probably heard this, but it's a good fun song. So. It's about wild foods. Are you ready? Ooh. Here it is.
They arrive in their thousands by bus and by car. Some even charter a plane. Load Nazis. It's all right.
Shall we start again?
I think we should. Just a minute. The song's about drinking, you see. They arrive in their thousands by bus and by car. Some even charter a plane. The train outline's loaded, there's no seats to spare, and everyone hopes it won't rain. The Vikings arrive, and the gypsies as well. They set up their stalls down the beach. Hundreds of camper vans milling around, successfully jam up the streets.
It's time for those wild
Songs that shouldn't be put on a plate.
those make you
You
smile.
laugh when you see what they dish up.
They come from all
Some travel hundreds of miles to try,
wonders to try.
then still alive, crawling around.
Those
Each
wild,
year they're dishing up crazier things.
sometimes they're wild,
Wildlife that usually scuttles or
like wild
stings.
mountain lions.
Insects and worms